And welcome to Talk Truly, Truly Effortless Events. My name is Ed. I'm over here in Ringo, Georgia at Area 52 Studios. You get a chance to check them out, check them out. Talk Truly was set up to talk to local vendors, to talk to local businesses, to talk about themselves, and also nonprofits as well. Speaking of, we have Mr. Jeb Bennett here. He is going to be talking to us about your nonprofit, which, the one thing, we're going to get a little bit more into it. You almost like just take everything that we don't want in our house and put it to good use. So you're kind of like a godsend to a lot of people. Let's talk about your program.
Absolutely. Ed. Thanks for having me on today, bud. Appreciate it. So my nonprofit is called Grateful Sports.
Yeah.
We're a sports equipment closet, kind of like a closed closet. So we take in new and used sports equipment, and then we donate it back out to youth in the area at no cost. So there's no sales involved.
Wow. So you're telling me, like, if I have like a basketball, laying around, or hockey or anything like that, I just want to find a home for it. Almost I just call you, and what do you do with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you could get a hold of me on many different avenues as well, but it could be a basketball, baseball, any kind of sports equipment, as long as it's still got a little bit of life left on it. Now, I don't necessarily take cleats that are flip-flopping around, but as long as it's still got some life left on it, it can be used. Then I take it, and then I find kids in the area, or I also send stuff on missions as well, overseas to sports camps in other countries as well.
So how did you start this? Because it's kind of, a noble thing.
Yeah, great question. So I played sports all my life, worked in sports in college as well, professionally a little bit as well as too. And I wanted to stay involved in sports, but in sports you have to long hours, you move around, and now that I have a family, it's kind of hard. And I was like, well, is there something I can do to still stay involved in sports? So I thought of this and started talking about it when we moved here, and found that there was a great need for kids that can't afford it or just want to try a season. I was like, well, let me see if I can bridge this gap, so parents aren't having to go out and spend a ton of money in hopes that their kid likes it or stays involved with it. So I just started talking about it, putting it out there, and people were like, yeah, we have tons of stuff to give. So it's gone really well.
Oh, wow. So what is the thing that you find most that you give to families and kids?
I would say baseball. Baseball's probably been the most that I've given out and gotten as well. I get some stuff of other sports, but baseball's definitely been the main contributor of equipment, and then also donations out as well.
Oh, so you accept cash, Venmo, all that good stuff?
I do. So now that I'm actually a 501c3, I do accept monetary donations as well. So that's been a big help. And that's just came about in the last couple of months of getting that nonprofit status.
So is there any certain organizations that you work with? Like, I know there's a, foster home or an orphanage or,
Yeah.
housing developments, who all do you work with?
Yeah. So right now there's not any specific places I work with. It's a lot of one-off families, but then I also work with schools. I've donated stuff to Orchard Knob Middle, Tyner Middle. I've done stuff at the YMCA. So it's just kind of all over. There's not any specific organizations. My nonprofit is under Lookout Valley Soccer Association. So I'm an umbrella under their 501c3.
Oh, wow. How did that come about?
Just through talks. I'm reaching out on Facebook and LinkedIn, just different organizations. Set up at one of their events at their eval days. And me and the owner of Lookout Valley Soccer Association, we just chatted. He's like, hey, why don't you come on under us? We'll take care of all the paperwork, and you can focus on what you really enjoy. And I was like, sign me up.
Oh, that's amazing. So, like, do you have like padding and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, so it's
Shin guards.
all different kind of sports equipment, cleats, bats, balls, football pads, um,
Almost.
any kind of bags, uniforms, pretty much any kind. I mean, I even had somebody donate. It's probably two full sets of ice hockey equipment, like real ice hockey, lacrosse, pretty much any sport I'll take.
So I can imagine you have like a ton of stories of making a difference.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that kind of touched you? Of course, no names, but
Yeah.
love to share the experience that you've shared with people.
Yeah, so I would say to date, I've probably helped 200, at least 200, give or take, kids, all over the world, really. So I've sent stuff on missions, and I really enjoy getting to send stuff to missions as well. The local is great, and it's awesome. I've helped a lot of kids that want to play, or their mom reaches out to them and says, "Hey, just want my kid to try this sport." I'm like, absolutely. And it really helped. It really makes me excited when the kid gets excited about seeing the equipment. It's like, oh, it's a bat. I didn't think I'd be able to have one, or a glove or something like that. And getting them on the field to play, and learning more than just hitting a ball or throwing a ball. It's, learning teamwork and different skills that's going to help them in life, not just playing baseball or soccer, but the skills in general, and to help them in life.
Now, I'd love to hear a story of success. That you've seen this child, this kid that really wanted this, and how did you find out about him? What happened when I'm sure he or she was overjoyed. But I mean, have you ever come into a part where you had kids in tears because they were so happy?
I don't know about actual tears, but there's probably been some happy tears. I had a lady reach out to me, and her daughter needed a volleyball and knee pads to play volleyball, and so I
Almost,
didn't actually have those at the time,
almost.
but I ended up having a individual donate some money to me, and so I was like, well, I'll just go buy that. So I went and bought a volleyball and some knee pads, and then the mom met me at an event that I was set up at, and gave those to her, and then she sent me a picture of her daughter playing volleyball, really excited about it, having that opportunity to have the tools to be successful. Because in sports, your cleats, your balls, your pads, whatever, that's your tools to success. Kind of like in business, your clients are your tools to success. So your equipment is your tools for success in sports.
Now, have you ever set up at any of the local sports stores, and that people are shopping, that if they want to get something extra, they could and just donate it?
Yeah, it's, not yet, but that is in the plans. I'm talking to Academy or Dick's or any of the other sports stores about setting up that. Like you said, have set up at sporting events, baseball, softball. I've got actually a big one coming up. It's a 2-day event. It's called the Flip Trade Show. It's at Camp Jordan. It's all sports cards, memorabilia, Pokemon, all different stuff, where you can trade cards, buy memorabilia. So I set up there, and that's to spread the vision of what I'm doing, but also then they donate part of the door to my nonprofit as well.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty awesome. They have autograph signers there too. There's football and wrestling. Football and wrestling are the two main ones this time. But I think there's like 200 and something tables, like over 100 vendors. I think it's $5 or something like that to get in, but it's a pretty awesome show. So that I'm excited about that.
Almost, with having the public shows like that, I can imagine that it is a big draw. Uh,
Probably
Almost
more.
cash than anything, with the donations. So how long have you been the nonprofit?
So actual nonprofit just a few months, but I started about 2 years ago when we moved here to the Chattanooga area.
Where did you move from?
We were in the Tri-Cities, so that's Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol, about as far northeast as you can get in Tennessee.
Well, what brought you to Chattanooga?
So this is a happy medium for my family and my wife's family, because I'm from Birmingham and she's from Crossville. So this is kind of a happy medium to be closer to family.
They all come visit you now.
Yeah, they can all come visit me, or the grandparents can see our kids more, that sort of thing. So it's been great.
Yeah. Now you do something besides this as well. Aren't you a realtor?
I am. Yeah. So residential real estate. I've been in the real estate business for about 4 years now. 2 years here and then 2 years in the Tri-Cities. So it's been a lot of real estate. It's been awesome. Focusing more on new construction.
Yeah.
So new construction is definitely where I like to be.
It seems lately I've had a ton of realtors on here. I've had almost Corey. I've had Lonnie, and now you. I have more coming too. I'm like, it's a very popular thing to be. But the fact that you're using your position as a realtor, we see each other around town. If if you didn't know, based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, we see each other around town all the time. And every time I see you, it's always, hey, it's that sports guy. That sports guy. Is that something that's been your little tag your whole life? That you say that you said you're involved professionally.
Yeah.
Now tell me. No, this is something I didn't know. You need to tell me, because
See, there's always little tidbits you don't know.
I know. I mean, I'm finding out all this stuff. Now, please, Jeb.
Yeah, so I did equipment in college. I did a football. I was equipment manager at Troy. It was Troy University or Troy State when I was there. That's Troy University down in South Alabama. Thought I wanted to work in equipment as a career, and then so I moved back home. Was working. This was like a bucket list job that I applied for with the Jacksonville Jaguars, down in Jacksonville, Florida. So I applied for it. I was like, well, why not? You never know. So I was working at a restaurant at the time, and they called me, so I had to turn it down because I was GM in a restaurant. And I was like, well, I can't just leave. So then I was talking to my owners, and they were like, dude, just go. Like, just leave. We'll figure it out. And I was like, kind of caught me off guard. I was like, kind of owners and tell their GM to just leave. But, whatever.
Well, I mean, to go work in the NFL, maybe, yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I called them back, and they hadn't found anybody yet. So I took the position, and they flew me out Monday morning on a red eye. And then I was there for the month of August. I didn't get the season gig, but I was there for the whole preseason for the month of August, and they paid for everything, paid for the hotel. I mean, pretty much anything I wanted, I didn't have to pay for, except if we went out to eat or whatever. But meals, everything, got plenty of gear. Got a helmet at home signed by pretty much the whole team. Made a lot of connections, friends that I still talk to today. So it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. But I also figured out I didn't want to do it as a career because of the hours and just the time commitment, which I'm not afraid of time commitment. But I wanted more of a family lifestyle as well. And it's not necessarily conducive to that.
Oh, no. I mean, you got those games every weekend and practices and all that.
Yeah.
But they say if you want to find someone to get something done, find someone who doesn't have time.
Sure.
Then they know how to manage their time. They're so efficient. It's really something that was told to me when I was younger, and the older I get, I realize how much, if someone has too much time on their hands, 9 times out of 10 they're either passing it off to someone else or whatever. For me, I'm I'm always doing something.
Right.
I totally get it. But to create this for underprivileged kids, for kids that really need it. it's a big deal because I used to coach soccer. Believe it or not, I mean, you when you look at me, you don't teach, you don't think soccer
Yeah.
because when I was growing up, there was no soccer in my school. I'm from Louisiana originally, but when my oldest daughter, who's 30 now, I remember her playing. We got her in soccer. Keep your kids running around. That's what we did. The coach said, "Hey, you should be my assistant coach, and next year I'll be your assistant coach. We could swap." That lasted 1 year. But what happened after that first year was, I'm a basic strategist, so I caught the gist of the game and started just focusing on the training. And I ended up doing it for probably about 4 or 5 years and ended up being the commissioner over the league. And, I tend to be a little bit competitive,
Yeah.
but I can't tell you how many times or how many families that I've met that their kids can do it because, it's great doing it. And you could probably get people to pay for the fees to do it. But then you got the shirts, and then you got all the pads, you got all the balls, you got everything. And the child doesn't know almost when they don't have it sometimes.
Right.
It's so hidden from them.
Yep.
Because their parents will just do whatever it takes, to get them what they need. And having someone like you and your organization do that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I really enjoy it. Like we're Grateful Sports is actually sponsoring three kids for a sports camp that's coming up in June.
Oh, wow.
It's through another nonprofit based in Cleveland called Breakout Outreach.
Mhm.
And they do a lot of stuff overseas, but they do sports camps here. So we're actually sponsoring three kids that want to do this sports camp, but unfortunately aren't able to afford it. So we're actually sponsoring three kids. Say Grateful Sports is me, another actual realtor friend of mine, and then Chat It Up Sports. It's a podcast as well. So we're all sponsoring three kids to be able to go to that sports camp. So it's all about helping kids stay out of trouble, stay off the streets as well, and getting that exercise and learning those life skills. Because I learned a lot playing sports, not just, obviously I didn't play professionally or in college, but learned a lot in sports, just life skills.
Almost, well, heck, you were up in the NFL, but not playing though,
Yeah.
but still, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it was awesome. I
It would have
enjoyed
been
it.
better if it was the Saints, but Jackson.
Yeah, I couldn't be too picky, but yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. One of my good friends, he still works in the NFL. He's with the Colts now. Actually, he's an equipment guy at the Colts. But I still keep in touch with a lot of the guys that I worked with.
I have a buddy of mine who was a recruiter,
Okay.
and he did the Titans and he
Yeah.
did Tampa Bay, and I'm
Yeah.
going like, man, just to hear the stories from him was like, well, you can imagine if you're out there scouting talent everywhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I've got friends that I went to Troy with that played at Troy with me, or not with me, but was at Troy with when I was there, that played in the league. When I'm just got in the Hall of Fame, DeMarcus Ware, and he is just in the Hall of Fame. O.C. Minor, he played with the Giants. Lawrence Tyne, he was a kicker for the Giants. Played in the Super Bowl. Another guy, he's actually an agent. He was an agent with Anthony Richardson, played at Florida quarterback.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely lots of connections and people that you can stay friends with for life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So here's my question here. When you're how do you approach, if you're going to like a school or anything like that? You just go like, hey, do you have any kids that need anything? Or you just like that? Or do you like work with the parent organizations or the coaches?
Yeah, so I try to connect with the coaches, but also I connect with the counselors as well, because the counselors are going to be the ones that really know the kids that need it, and I try to work through them, and I tell them, the vision of what I do, and then they let me know if they have a kid that needs something, or they let the parent know, hey, there's this organization. If you need stuff, reach out to them. They would be able to help. So I try to connect through the counselors and the coaches, both. Because counselors have been pretty actually easier than coaches, because coaches are busy. We all know coaches are busy. But the counselors have actually been easier to connect with, and giving them the resources, my number, the flyers, everything like that to send home with the kids in case they need stuff.
Almost.
Yeah, so that's kind of the way I try to get into schools also. So I deliver snack packs. I don't know if you've heard of the snack pack ministry, but
No, I haven't.
so
You came here empty-handed? Oh, come.
I don't need any snacks. But yeah, so it's called the Snack Pack Ministry. It's based out of the East Brainerd Church of Christ. And we do, it's once a month. Now that school is over, we don't do it anymore. We just do it through the school year. But once a month, we pack about 8,000 snack packs. There's two times a day that we do it, once in the morning, once in the evening. But we pack about 8,000 snack packs, and they go out to about 30, I think it's 31 different schools around town. And you don't realize how much food insecurity there is in Chattanooga, of kids just not having food on the weekends. So this is a minor part in being able to for a kid to have something to eat on the weekends. So I delivered at Hardy Elementary downtown. Every 2 weeks I deliver about 120 snack packs down there.
Now, are you just local, regional, or national?
The snack packs?
Any? No.
Yeah. So most of it's local right now. Long range vision for my sports causes to have in all the major cities in the Southeast. To go a very long, I say long term, it could be short term, who knows? But to have a hub basically in all the southeastern cities, and then who knows? I mean, who knows what you could from that?
So let's say someone, in Knoxville or Nashville or anything wants to do the same thing that you do. They can actually link up with you, and then you become basically a network and have a hub different places.
Absolutely. I was down in Birmingham a while back, and a friend of mine had tagged me on a guy that was getting rid of some softball stuff. And it's like, hey, if you're in town, maybe you can grab this stuff. So I connected with the guy. He's like, yeah, I'll leave it on the front porch. And so before I came back to Chattanooga, I went by his house and got it in Birmingham. So yeah, absolutely. If someone's open or willing to do that, I'd be happy to talk with them about starting something in their city.
Well, that's pretty noble. I mean, your kids. How are your kids? How old are they?
They're 5 and 3.
5 and 3.
Yeah.
Now, boy, girl,
one of each.
One of each.
Yeah.
So are either of them gonna be like incorporated in what you do? And
I hope so. At least in the aspect of giving back and being in the community and being community involved. Whether they play sports, yes, I would love them to play sports, but if they want to do something else, then that's fine. But I do want them to learn that being involved in the community is very important in giving back.
Big time, especially, once they're coming up in age. I have two of my daughters that, I'm extremely proud of. And, the one thing about my daughter and I, we'll just take off and go do something nice, and not just talk about it, but, almost I'm noticing them as adults now, how that just passes along,
Absolutely.
And, the fact that you're doing this around your kids, and it's very humbling for them and very, something that's gonna be with them for the rest of their lives. And I admire that in you, Jeff. That's
appreciate it.
It's just something that that's lost. We have to teach by example, and what you're doing is amazing. I really appreciate it as a father, I appreciate it as just a human being. It goes a long way. Now, if people wanted to get in touch with you, I'm sure this can be, whether by phone, Facebook, or website or anything like that. What's the best way and what's the turnaround? And also, if somebody, is watching this out there anywhere in the United States, can they ship stuff to you?
Yes to all of that. So I have multiple different ways that you can get a hold of me. I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have a landing page. My phone number, my cell number is on all of that. Shoot me a text, call me, whatever. Turnaround time is pretty quick. That I guess that comes from being in sales. The turnaround is not very quick. Sometimes you lose out on that sale. So turnaround's pretty quick. Now, if you text me at 10 o'clock at night, I'll probably still respond because, we as small business owners, we work late at night sometimes. So I might respond at night or it would be in the morning. So the turnaround time is pretty quick actually. But yes, if someone wants to ship something to me, absolutely. Or depending on where it is, like if say you're in Knoxville, you don't have to ship, but try to get as much stuff as you can, and then I'll meet you halfway, or I'll even come to Knoxville. I went and set up at it was a basketball tournament in Knoxville actually. It's called NACA. It's the National Association of Christian Athletes. Set up at that basketball tournament. So my cell number's on all that, or you can DM me on Facebook or whatever. They can ship stuff. Call me. I'll be happy to figure out a meeting time.
Almost, I'm kind of taking that as a challenge, so if you're listening to this podcast and you have something sitting around, I challenge you almost to send it to them. Now, what's your website name? Tell it to us before we go.
Yeah. So if you just look up Grateful Sports, it'll come up with the Facebook page, the landing page. It's all on If you go to my Facebook page, you can go to the landing page. You can get my email, everything there. So the easiest way would be just to go to the Facebook page, Grateful Sports. It's kind of like Grateful Dead, hippie at heart. But so just go to the Facebook page, find everything on there.
All right. Well, you got it there. Now the challenge has been issued. Now I want you to flood Jeb with donations, phone calls, everything. If you have stuff sitting around, if you're in Chattanooga, then there's no reason that you can't contact him and bring it to him. It's going to a good cause. I want to thank you again for joining us on Talk Truly. Also, if you're watching this on a different platform, talktruly.com will lead you to the direct path to this podcast at Area 52 Studios. My name is Ed. Thank you again and have an amazing day. Almost.